At the ascension, Jesus told his disciples to wait for the power from on high. So 120 disciples gathered in the upper room, praying for 9 days, asking to receive an outpouring of the Holy Spirit. The gifts and fruits of the Holy Spirit are one of those best-kept secrets, but it's time to let this power out and ask for a new Pentecost. In both baptism and confirmation, we were given the 7 gifts of the Holy Spirit, but the litmus test for whether these gifts are alive and active is called the fruits of the Holy Spirit. We may not be able to see the Holy Spirit, but we can notice its effects in our life. St. Bernard of Clairvaux wrote, "I understood that the Spirit was there due to certain movements in my own heart." Traditionally, there are 12 fruits of the Holy Spirit, but we will review the 9 that St. Paul lays out in the 5th chapter of Galatians. Here's the first: love. Jesus said, "This is my commandment. Love one another as I love you." We are called to love both God and neighbor. Love is more than a sentimental feeling or preference. It is an action. We actively will the best for the other. The greatest test for this fruit is how we treat those who will never love us in return, our enemies. The second fruit is joy. Jesus said, "I have told you this so that my joy may be in you, and your joy may be complete." Our bottomless source of joy is knowing Christ. Even in the midst of suffering and adversity, we can still be joyful knowing Christ is in control of our life. Mother Teresa said, "Draw your strength simply from your joy in Jesus. Be happy and peaceful. Accept whatever he gives, and give whatever he takes with a big smile." The third is peace. Jesus promised, "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. Not as the world gives do I give it to you. Do not let your hearts be troubled or afraid." Peace is often defined as the absence of something, war, strife, or hardship. Real, lasting peace comes from the presence of Jesus. The fourth is patience. We are patient with others because God was first patient with us. God's patience is always directed at our eventual conversion. Our patience with God is rooted in trusting His providential plan and timing. The fifth fruit is kindness. It comes from recognizing Christ in every person and treating him or her accordingly. Being kind to those who are not kind to us is hard, but that's what distinguishes us as Christians. We treat others not as they deserve, but as God wishes them to be treated. The French philosopher Joseph Joubert wrote, "Kindness is loving people more than they deserve." The sixth is generosity. Jesus said, "Give, and gifts will be given to you. A good measure, packed together, shaken down and overflowing, will be poured into your lap. For the measure with which you measure will in turn be measured out to you." We are generous because God was first generous. Everything we have and are is pure gift from God and must be freely given. The seventh is gentleness. Jesus said, "Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls." Gentleness means we shepherd people in the correct direction without force or fear. The eighth is faithfulness. It is rooted in trust and loyalty to God, no matter where He calls us. People who faithfully followed God, but may not have initially understood His plan, would include Abraham, Moses, Mary, and Joseph. The ninth fruit is self-control. It involves restraint of our desires in both thought and action. This sets us apart from wild animals with no impulse control. To maintain this level of vigilance, Jesus promised to send another advocate to watch out for us, the Holy Spirit. We are meant to be temples of the Holy Spirit, so we must exercise self-control and define who we are by resisting who we are not. The gifts and fruits of the Holy Spirit are given for our good and the good of all the church. They can be reawakened through prayer and practice. Simply start by praying repeatedly, "Come, Holy Spirit, come." For Cardinal Basil Hume, the former Archbishop of Westminster, said, "There is a gentle breeze which blows all the time to help us on our journey. That breeze is the Holy Spirit. But the wind cannot be caught or used unless the sail is hoisted, and the hoisting is our task. God does hold us and will lead us if we want it, but we must want it."